Good morning and welcome back to the Home Renovation Experts. Steve here again on this 5x3 garden room build. Still looking spanking, coming along nicely. So yesterday all the plasterboarding was finished, all taped, all the joints taped. Managed to get a bit of fascia board on as well. So the plan for today is that stuff, plastering. Right, straight off the bat, if you are a plasterer, you will not like this video, okay? I am not a professional plasterer. I do not do it every day, but I've been in this field for 26 years and my background is decorating. So I'm a dab hand at putting right work. And that is not saying that I'm a bad plasterer either. I'm a bloody good plasterer, but my techniques will not be the same as a professional who does it day in, day out. My last video I'd done on plastering, I had loads of plasterers going, oh my word, like this is just like treacherous to watch. So if you are a professional, you might not want to watch, or I'd highly recommend watching just for a giggle really, just to go, what the bloody hell. So my finish is always very nice. My technique, you know, is kind of my technique. So there you go, pre-warning. Also, I have actually done a bit of research and I've got a few new techniques I'm going to be trying out today. So for all of us who are usual channel watchers, let's go on this journey together and see how we get on. Either way, it's going to look pucker. Once it's like all filled and the paint is on, you will never know the difference. It's going to look gorgeous. Talking of paint, I'm not going to tell you which one, but one of these is making it to that wall. One of these. Which one do you reckon? I know, and I like knowing, and you don't, but I'll let you figure it out. Right, so for plastering, you're gonna want something to put your knocked up plaster onto. You're gonna want a plastering bucket for knocking up, a clean bucket. Always have all this stuff clean because you don't want little bits and particles in your plaster which cause you little like ruffles and stuff and it's just a pain. Obviously bags of plaster come in quite useful. Hawk, bigger, longer trowel. Short trowel, so I use this one for applying the plaster, using that. That was a bit more of a finishing one, although, thanks to one of you guys out there, whoever you are, thank you again. I've got this wonderful thing called a speed skim, like this. So I use that for once I kind of got the first skim on, to then run across both directions just to kind of even it out a little bit. And a water spray, now you can have like a handheld one if you want, but a garden spray is a bit easier to use. And that's just for like later on for just like getting a finish on it. So there you go, disclaimer's done. Let's jump right in and get this done then. Like that. There we go. Right. Grab the bag. So I am going to be using an electric mixer because it just makes life a bloody damn sight easier. So, like I say, water's in the bucket ready to go. Mixer's ready. Try to launch it everywhere. And then what I'll do is, I'll put a bit in. I'll just get that started. And you can knock it up by hand, but flipping heck, yeah, this will make a lot quicker and a lot easier job of it. Gives it a nice little start. The rest through. Now this bucket is a plastering bucket. That's why it's designed to take the right amount of water in the right amount of bag. And it's the perfect height. Also, you don't want to go like full bore spin, you just want a sort of gentle spin on this. Sorry, I apologise in advance. I did actually, I knocked up and I forgot to film it. But the next batch, I'll show you what I did. But there you go. There it is. Lovely, lovely creamy consistency. Can hold its own weight, but not too firm. Definitely not too sloppy, okay? So that's the kind of consistency you'd be looking for. It's very, very nice. Also, once you've knocked up, straight away, clean up your knocking up bucket, okay? Don't leave it, don't think, oh, I'll just get round to it. Just do it there and then before you get cracking on, because now it's ready for the next batch, it's clean, it's not going off on the side of it and making your life a little bit harder. So, that's knocked. There's an empty room that needs plastering. I wonder what I should do. So, I'm going to be starting the ceiling. So just load up your hook. And what you're aiming for, because it's obviously brand new plaster, it doesn't need to be primed or anything else like that, you just go straight on it. And you basically have to put like 2mm thickness on, okay? You work it nicely into the corner. That's a bit of like, not overly firm, but you know, you want to get the plaster onto the surface. Like that. Work it nicely into the corners. And like I say, the tape is nice and flush into the corner, so this blade isn't like dragging it out or anything else like that from yesterday's video. So it's like the corners kind of going in the section I'm working. That is a slightly more pain in the arse, the sort of centre bit, you just fill it in. You're not really pushing doing coming in. You know, the inside bit's easy, but it's getting near the edges. I'm talking us three, I'm much better at it now. And then once I've got this scratch coat on, the first coat, I've gone over it, leveled it off a little bit. I'll then leave it for like 15-20 minutes to come back, having a feel of it. Okay, so you can just see that's basically what I've sort of done. And then really, it is just filling in the centre bit. Like I say, if you're not going for a thick board up here, I say 2mm, something like that. There's this nice small blade as my starting one, and I'll go to the big one a bit later. Nice creamy consistency, so it just flows like a beaut. And every time we do plaster, it's slightly different. I mean, obviously for this, we're looking at doing garden room, so like I say, it's new plaster board. If you're say doing like Artex at home or something, you want to shunt off as much of the Artex as possible, give it a coat or two of PVA just to seal it, and then crack on. But also you'll be working with a slightly thicker set because obviously you've got to cover the indentations, whereas here, the most I've got to overcome is a bit of scrim tape, and actually I've gone for the ultra thin stuff, because again it just makes life a bit easier. Plasterboard comes in like two levels, so you get one that's got like space built into the edges, so it's got a slight indentation, called feather edge, well, my brain's working, to allow for the tape to be in it. And then what you can do is just like fill that with like an easy fill, and that's cool. But if you're going to plaster, you know, you just go for straight edge board, put the scrim tape on, then the plaster will cover all that perfectly. So what I'll do is, I'll run and work the entire ceiling. I'll start with the ceiling, get that done, and I'll show you, give me like a little look over in a minute. I'll catch you in a second. Right, there you go. That's that all sorted. First skim on. Now I've only used this once before. This will be the second time. Speed skim. So blades are nice and clean. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk one direction, walk the other direction, and that's it. Leave it for a bit. So essentially, and all we're doing is just evening out the where the blade's been. I used to just use a little blade to kind of run over a bigger blade. But a bloke said, you ought to try this out, it'll make life a lot easier. And I'm always up for new tools and new techniques. Well, if you've got constructive criticism, always up for that. Because I like hearing back from other trades, because it makes my life easier. You're always learning. Every day's a school day. So you just work your lines like that. Again, you're not trying to finish it here, you're just kind of getting it on. So then it's set, And then I'll go over, do another coat over the top. And then after that one is when we start to finish it. And that's it, I'm just going to do that all the way across that direction. Then I'll do that way, and like I say, I'm going to leave it, give it 15-20 minutes, have a cup of tea, see where we're at, give it a touch test, I'll show you that in a second as well, and then see if I can get a second coat on. So, here's another thing, that's like I say, that's gone in both directions, done. If you're doing one of these yourself, or you're at home DIYing it, and you're doing a room or whatever, plastering is not an easy job, okay? If you watch a video like this, it looks easy, just get it on and stuff. I highly recommend two things that I'll say not most people, but if you're going to do DIY stuff like this or you're Todd, two things you might want to outsource is the electrics, obviously, because you need it certified, and the second thing is plastering, okay? Because it isn't easy. You can't just walk away from it and leave it, or just get distracted by something. You have to keep on it. You can't just walk away. The other thing is, if you do a bad job and you haven't got the skills to make it good, it's going to look crap, and you're going to be disappointed because all the rest of your hard work, that's the thing that you see when it's finished. So yeah, the reason I don't get my plastering is because A, he's such a busy bloke and I never quite know when I'm going to get to the right stage to get him in. Second thing is, I've been in a trade for 26 years. Like I say, I can do this, I can make it look absolutely pucker. I've got no issues at all. So for me, it's not too bad, but for somebody else, you know, you might want to think twice. But at the same time, it doesn't stop you from having a go. You know, even if you just buy yourself a little bit of plasterboard from Wix or wherever, and just have a play on a loose bit of plasterboard, just to kind of get a feel for it, to kind of trial it out, give yourself a bit of confidence, and then have a go on the small wall first and just see how you get on. Then do the second small wall, and just sort of build up from there. As long as you're getting it right, taking your time, you won't go far wrong. It's just sometimes doing the big areas, and drying times can be a bit different depending on ambient air temperature, moisture in the air, stuff like that. So you just kind of need to know how to check it so that, I don't think you can see, but if I push that now, you can just see it's still wet, still highly malleable, which is not ready yet at all for a second one. So I'm going to leave that, have a cup of tea, just before I drop that in there, because I've got a bit of time to kill. So yeah, but next time you see me, I'll be getting a second lick on this. Also, while I'm still waiting, I'm just thinking of things to say. Another good thing to do whilst you're waiting for it to kind of set up a little bit is clean up your floor, because it is a wet trade. You are going to make spillages. So just go around with your little blade, boom, scrape off any bits and pieces, and it just saves you walking it around, because why do you want to? Right, I'll be back in 5-10 minutes then. I've finished my tea and board now. Time has passed, I'm ready to go. So now you can see, compared to before, if I put my thumb on it, you can see it stays firm to the touch, yeah? But it's still damp, still wet, but it's a bit firmer and happy. So that means I can now go ahead and get my second. What am I doing with my camera? Hang on, I just flipped you around a little bit. So now I can just do exactly what I've just done before. So I'm just gonna go over it again with another thin coat, and then I'll show you that, how I kind of get towards the finish after that. Right, donkey, so you see me in time lapse just go over it all again with another coat. So what I'm going to do now is, big blade, and literally just going to go over it all again. But this time it's just to remove any imperfections, any bits and pieces. And what you'll also want to do, like I said earlier with the spray, give it a bit of spray, because what it does is just reactivates the surface again, which helps the blade just slide across. And then what you do is you pick up a bit of plaster as you go, and it starts to automatically fill bits and pieces. What I also do is get a bit of the old plaster, knock up a bit of water, so it's a bit soft, like that again. Because sometimes you'll just need to fill a bigger hole occasionally as you go. So, working from one corner, again you're trying to get to the point where you start to see there's no holes, there's no indentations, any little gaps you see around the edges, and that now's your time to fill them up, to get them spot on. And theoretically, because you've been going across it in different directions, you should have a nice even level surface, as opposed to if you just did it one direction, you're not going to have that. And as you sort of find, as you get to the point where you start to feel it's becoming a bit draggy again, what you need to do is give it enough space to wet it up, just to keep it moving. But that is looking really nice. So I'll work from the far end back into the middle, just to make sure this edge here on this wall is absolutely beautiful. And then again, I'll work the centre as I go. So just making sure there's no little indentations, no bits and pieces that now need filling, because this should start to fill it up. Like I say, none of this is rocket science, but there is a lot of skill. Never underestimate plastering. Like I always say, the two toughest jobs on site work is scaffolding and plastering. They are by far and away the hardest jobs. Lots of skill, and the professional plasterers, the amount of meterage that they can cover in one go is absolutely incredible. So, yeah. So my recommendation is, if you're looking after exactly how to do plastering, enjoy this video, but then go and see other videos as well. So here we go, that's looking lovely. Get down to the very end. That's it, nice, right. And I'll do the same again on this wall, to make sure that my edges are looking absolutely spot dog. And then you can start to bring this edge further into the middle as you come in. Start to fill up all those little bits and pieces. One first level, starts to get a bit drainy. Just give it an over spray up, just to keep it moving. And that's it. We'll do that all the way across again, and then we should be definitely getting towards the very end of it now. Right, so there you go, that's had it's like one of its very final licks now. You can sort of see, don't know if you can see. Looking very, very tasty. See, there's a little bit there, don't know if you can pick that up, so tiny bit there. So what I'll do is, in a minute, I'm gonna give it another 10 minutes just to sort of finish off. I'll give it one final spray and then one final lick over, but this next coat's a piece of piss. And then that is it. One ceiling is done and dusted and looking very nice. And yeah, that ain't gonna be no filling, because this next coat will finish off, well, not coat, but just lick over. We'll finish off those little last little few bits of holes and stuff. And then that's it. I'll knock up some more and crack on with a few more walls. Oh, I do love a bit of plastering. Right, and the thing I forgot to do for you earlier, show you knocking up. So basically, I've got X amount of water in bucket. We'll give it a kick. So just under halfway, which is a good start. What we'll do is, always put the water in first. Makes life a lot easier. Pour in. Always, where you can, use an electric mixer. It just makes life a lot easier. If you've got two people, it does make this job a little bit easier, because they can pour it in as you're like stir it. You don't need it too fast, just a nice sort of easy speed. Build up your consistency as you go. Don't forget you can always add more in. As long as your hose pipe's here, you can keep watering it down again as well. So that's quite useful. But sometimes the bag slips, you put too much and you're like, oh. But just top it up. Keep on going. So what we're looking for is a nice creamy, but not too thick. You want to be able to move this stuff and slide it across the surface. And the thicker it is, the harder that becomes. Also plays your drying time. kind of get to where you think you're going to need it, get your trowel out, and just wipe it around the edges because you've got dried plaster there, which will cause you lumps. Got to get that moving, get it into the mixture, and get that knocked in. Even that bit that stays on the side. Waste not one knock. That's looking lovely. Then all you've got to do is grab your bucket of semi-clean water because it's only used for cleaning. And clean off your spinner while it's wet and a lot easier to do. But basically, if I take you off of here, look, okay. The gazebo's taking a bit of punishment here. That's the first bit of blow I've had for a little while. Right, so there we go. Look at that, smooth, creamy, absolutely beautiful. So that'll pour straight on the table, and I'll start cracking on with the next wall. So I'll get this out onto the table. I'll clean that bucket to perfection because again, it makes life a lot easier if you clean everything as you go. And then that is it. I'll start cracking on with the back and the front wall.